Welcome back to Professor Bet's Week 11 NFL picks, NFL only. Sometimes we put in some UFC picks. I may make a UFC video later on in the week, so make sure you like and subscribe so you can catch those videos as well as others that I may put out. Let me go ahead and tell you guys, I have 7 NFL picks here for you, and we're going to start off really strong. We're just jumping into it this week, okay? We have the Patriots versus the Falcons. Now understand, I love talking about when I'm right, and I haven't been right more this season than I have with the Patriots. Now, they're going -7 versus the Falcons. I expect them to continue the trend of making me look very smart and very right and making me some money. The Patriots have been one of those teams all season long that have done exactly what they normally do. And people kind of miss this a little bit, but early on in the season, it's more they take it as a preseason. They work into it. They were losing close games to really good teams, some teams that you guys yourselves have picked as Super Bowl favorites. We're talking about Tampa Bay, 19-17 loss. That's not bad for the early career of Mac Jones. Then we talk about Dallas Cowboys. Overtime, it was a 7-point game, but you have to look, it was overtime. So that means at one point, very late in the fourth, they were tied. It went into overtime. Dallas was able to get it done. That was too early in the season. And then I pointed out in a video, hey, they have some big games coming up. You have the Chargers, you have the Baltimore Ravens, and you have the Cleveland Browns. They've won 2 of the 3 of those. They look like they're going to grab a wild card spot. I do not think that they will beat the Buffalo Bills out for the division. I think that's kind of one of those things that they're just going to have to say, hey, the Buffalo Bills are up and down, but I think their talent level is much higher. This doesn't mean anything poorly for the Patriots. This is Mac Jones' first year. I think he's exceeded expectations. Don't get too high on him. He's fitting and he's doing his job just like the rest of the team, just like Belichick always does. They're starting to get in a groove. They're not making mistakes. They're making other team make mistakes. If you want to break it down, that's football. You don't make mistakes. They make mistakes. You try to get those 1 and 2 plays, then just break the game open, and hopefully when they try to make those 1 and 2 plays, you turn those into big plays for yourselves. That's what the Patriots are doing. They're shortening the game. The game is won and lost on just a few mistakes that they aren't making. So that's -7, and I feel most comfortable about that. If you want to talk about what is your lock for the week, that would be my lock. Now, moving on into my second bet. This is one that I'm feeling a little stingy about because I haven't known where to put the 49ers all year. For the most part, left them out of my bets. I haven't been right about them. They're confusing, but after watching last night's games where they totally tore apart the Rams, were stronger on both sides of the ball, I love that. And guess what? That's the kind of momentum that carries over. Sometimes you'll see, for example, I'm going to bring up Eagles versus Broncos. I told you guys, bet the Eagles on the money line. It was close, but the Eagles coming off just a normal game, the Broncos' best win of the season, they're not normally that way. They're going to regress. But the 49ers did it by pounding the football, which is getting back to their true identity, not letting the quarterback dictate too much of what's going on because they know Garoppolo is not a top-flight quarterback. That's not supposed to be winning you games. He's supposed to be not losing you games. And as long as you keep it that simple, the 49ers are a very good team. Now, the line for that is -6.5 versus the Jags. The Jags have been playing, might I say, some decent football here. But they're still the Jags. They're still the deficit. And after a hard, meaty win, and especially in that division where the 49ers cannot lose too many more games, they're really going to start to say, you know what, every game counts. We're going to pound it out. This is a confidence-building game. They are going to do wonderful next week. Now, for my third pick, and I like this pick a lot as well because a lot of other people, you'll see the Colin Cowherds, the ESPNs, are going to talk about the Vikings. The Vikings have been playing very close to a lot of teams this year, but now they're playing the Packers. It's a -2.5 line. I'm taking the Packers on this, guys. Don't get too caught up on the Chargers win for the Vikings. There was a lot of different plays where they kind of took advantage of a young quarterback. Guess who's not a young quarterback? That would be your guy, Aaron Rodgers, who is back. He is exceptional. He's been playing exceptional. So even though you hear a lot of this negative stuff in the news, don't pick them to beat the Packers. You're just going to be throwing away your money. This is kind of the kind of Aaron Rodgers games that he's just going to win. And it's because he's better than your quarterback. Now we're on to 4 of 7 picks here. One I like a little bit more than the rest here. Now this is where we start to struggle. We start to get in those who, what's all going on. We have the Dolphins versus the Jets. And it's as simple as this. Tua's coming back. Do I think he's an exceptional quarterback? I do not. But do I think he's enough to get it done versus the Jets? I think he's going to have a pretty good day. If you ask me, I think that's a pretty good day to come back, to play the Jets. The Jets, who are going through not only injuries, but not a talented enough roster as it is. There has been a few shocking Jets games here. I don't see this as one of them. I think the Dolphins are able to win. The -3 line doesn't hurt me too much. I don't think it'll be that close. Next, we have the Eagles versus the Saints. Now, this is only a -1.5 line. Like I said, I betted the Eagles last week, made some money off of them. The Saints are an interesting team. I've seen enough of Trevor Siemian. I've seen him at the Broncos. I've seen him in multiple different places. He's not enough. With all the injuries that both teams have sustained, it's kind of mid-season. You got some nicks, you got some bruises. I don't think the mix between Hill and Trevor Siemian is dangerous enough to go and beat an Eagles team that's sort of starting to get it figured out. You know, they beat the Broncos last week. Are they a great team? Probably not. But look for these teams with first-year coaches to kind of get it rolling here, to start making some wins here where they need to. The Saints is a hard place to play, though. This is a hard place to play. So really, if you want to take the Saints here, that's something. But I'm going to go with the Eagles because I like money, okay? And it's a good value pick here for the Eagles, riding a win, kind of getting the Smith thing going. I like Devontae Smith a lot in this offense. Now we're getting into two of my money line picks. I'm kind of taking who I believe might be the underdog as of right now. And what I would call these are value picks, okay? I think it's 50-50. I think that Vegas kind of sees it the same way. But these are two picks where I kind of feel I see more ways to win from one side rather than the other. The first one I want to talk about is the Raiders versus the Bengals. Now, the Bengals, you think of offense, you think of Burrow, you think of the wide receivers that they have. They have more than one, but they don't run the ball very well, and that actually is the struggle of the Raiders' defense. The Raiders do not defend the run near as well as they defend the pass. That's kind of shocking. Lately, you know, the last few years we've known the Raiders is just a poor defense. They can get thrown on. This year they're kind of being run on, but that matches up very well with the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, we have a few more things to talk about, like what about the turnover ratio? The Raiders are right now +1. That's not amazing. There's some +11s out there. But the Cincinnati Bengals are a -4 in that area. So there's just a little bit of difference there, but I do think that the Raiders have a weakness, but I don't think Cincinnati can expose it. I think that's what some of the other teams have used to kind of beat down the Raiders. I think that the Raiders can win this. I'm going to take the money line. I'm not going to put any points on it. Just take the money line. I like the Raiders. Moving into my last pick, kind of one of the more exciting. I'm excited to watch it as a fan of the week, which is the Cowboys versus the Chiefs. Now, that's going to be big. And the Chiefs have the hometown advantage. That's kind of the big thing here when you're measuring them because it seems pretty close. Here's the thing, though. I'm going to go ahead and pick the Cowboys. With Tyron Smith coming back, that offensive line is probably going to dictate what we see throughout the game. You're going to see a lot of the ball running. If you have to take Zeke over and Pollard over, so far I've made a lot of money on Pollard just because I think Vegas has undermined a little bit of what he's been doing on the field. He has hit each team with like one good strike and then a few more chunk plays there. So he's been making me a lot of good money. I'm going to put a parlay at some point with him in it, with him over receptions, maybe him over rushing yards as well. I do think this is a big game for rushing. I think that the Cowboys understand that regardless of Mahomes' current touchdown to interception ratio, you don't want him to dictate this game. Not with such a big spot at home. You're going to take the air out of the football. You're going to run it. Try to get some 3 and outs. If you do that, just like how the 49ers were able to do that to the Rams, suddenly they get 2 drives and it's already midway through the 4th quarter. That's not enough to do something if you're scoring touchdowns on the offensive side of the football. Now, those are my 7 picks. I'm going to list them here for a little bit while I just go ahead and talk about what we can do together, guys. We're making some adjustments to the set here. Some things I'm very excited about, guys. We're making money from the bets. We're pouring it back into the set. I'm working on a logo now. I'll be honest, not the most creative of guys. I like numbers. I like to sit down. When I look at a lot of these teams, I know exactly who I kind of want to look at immediately, but I sit down, I do a lot of research, I cross a lot of names off the list, and I come out with what I come out with, which has been doing me a lot of good. I'm not going to call it a secret formula. It's not. but it's a lot of hard work. It's looking into these things. I'm winning. I'm putting that money back into this set here. We're going to work on a logo. It's going to be exciting. Keep with us, guys. Like I said, like and subscribe. We're going to win money. I can't wait for you guys to watch some of the videos I'm going to be putting out later in the week. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take care.